Hello, dear students. My name is Bhankeshwar Panigrahi. So, in our last class, we have discussed about different types of TCP services in computer networks. So, today we are going to discuss about one more topic regarding your TCP protocol, that is your TCP segment. So, how the TCP segment works and what is the structure of TCP segment and what are the different parts of a TCP segment, all are described in this topic. Okay. So, basically the TCP segment consists of 20 to 60 bytes long. Apart from that, header is 20 byte. If there are no option, and the header is 60 byte if it contains some option. Okay, so header consists of 20 byte if it has no option. If it consists of some options, then it has 60 byte long. Okay, so go through the notes to understand more precisely. That is your, what is a segment? A packet in TCP is called a segment. That means whenever we are concentrated with our transmission or data transmission from one location to another location or from one layer to another layer in our OSI model, then in the transport layer or in the where the TCP works, there the number of packets are transferred from one location to another location, and these packets transmission or the packet transmission of the data from one location to another location, each and every packet is considered as a segment. As I have told you, the segment consists of 20 to 60 bytes header followed by data from the application program. So, if the header is 20 bytes, if there are no options, and up to 60 byte if it contains options. The format of a segment is shown in the figure below. So, how is the format of the TCP segment or the TCP packets? Okay, this is the format of, what is that? Your TCP packets or TCP segments. So, first is header and the data. The header part again contains the source port address, destination port address, sequence number, acknowledgement number, header length, reserved bits, and the window size, checksum, and the urgent pointer. So, we are going to discuss one by one. Listen carefully. I want to told you one by one description. Okay. So, first one is header. So, what the header will contain? Yes, first we are going with our header. So, first the header contains the address of the receiver end. That header contains the address of the receiver end. And what is the source port address? The source port address as it given here that it is 16-bit long, and it defines the port number of the application program in the host site. Listen carefully, again I am going to tell you repeatedly once again, that is your source port address is 16-bit long, and it contains the port number of the application program in the host site, that is your sending site. The segment and this field also contains addresses of source port or the sending port. Okay. So next is your destination port address. So this is also 16-byte long, and it contains the port number of the application program in the host, that is your in receiving site. Okay, the source port address contains the information about the sending address, and the destination port address contains the information of the ports in the receiving sites. Okay, it contains the destination port address. Okay, so next is your sequence number. So the sequence number is of 32-bit long, as it is given here in the diagram. And this field contains, what is the sequence field number contains? This field contains the sequence number of first byte of data, and it tells the destination which byte in this sequence is a comparison of first byte of the segment. That means the sequence number is of 32-bit long, and it contains the first byte of data, the sequence number of first byte of data. Okay, that tells the destination which byte in the sequence is comparison of first byte of the segment. Okay, so next is your acknowledgement number, and the acknowledgement number is of 32-bit long, and it contains both the positive acknowledgements as well as negative acknowledgements. If the response is positive, then it is positive acknowledgement. If the response is negative, then the number is negative acknowledgement number. So acknowledgement number is cumulative in nature. That means communication in TCP is a full duplex when a connection is established. That means when the connection is established, the connection is, or the communication is full duplex. That means both the sides can communicate with each other simultaneously. That is called your full duplex of communication. Okay, so both the parties can send and receive data at the same time in case of full duplex mode of communication in TCP segment. Okay, so acknowledgement number defines the number of next byte that the party accept to receive. Okay, so acknowledgement number, what it defines? It defines the next byte that the party accept to receive. Okay, so the acknowledgement number is represented as 1 and 0. 1 means that is your positive acknowledgement, and 0 means the negative acknowledgement. Okay, so next is your HLEN, that is your header length. Okay, so it indicates, it is of 40 bits long, and it indicates the length of header, that is your 4 bytes, the value is in between 20 to 60 byte. The value of the field is 5, then length of the header is 20 byte. Okay. So next is reserved 66 bits. So this bit contains the reserved for future reference. And the next is your URG, that is the value of the URG flag field is valid or not. That is means here it represents the urgent flag field. Okay. So the value of the urgent flag field is valid or not, it tells. Okay. Next is SEK, that is your acknowledgement, and this field signifies whether the acknowledgement is significant or not, or whether the acknowledgement is positive or not, or negative or not. Okay. So next is your push. That push defines the push function, and the RST defines the reset function or the connection reset. And next is your SYN, that is your synchronization. It is the sequence number during the connection. It provides the sequence number during the connection. And the fin, that is your final, it identifies the termination of the connection, and it is similar to the end of transmission or EOT. Okay. So this is about the fields. The control fields, they are URG, that is your urgent flag, ACK is the acknowledgement, PSH is the push button, and RST is the connection reset, and the synchronization and the final. Okay. Next is your window size. So what it defines? It is set to indicate how many bytes the receiver is to accept, and the maximum size can be 65535 bytes, and it helps in flow control. Next is your checksum, and this checksum field used for the purpose of checksum calculation is to determine whether the segment arrived error free from the transmitter or not. And the urgent pointer, this is valid, and the urgent flag is set, this pointer set to signify the data push to the urgent flag or not. This is all about your, what is that, TCP segment. We may go through the notes regarding your TCP segment. This is your source port address. This is a 16-bit field that defines the port number of the application program in the host that is sending the segment. Destination port address, this is 16-bit that defines the port number of the application program in the host that is receiving the segment. Sequence number, it provides the sequence number, that is the byte number of the first byte that is sent in that particular segment. Okay. So next is your acknowledgement number. This acknowledgement number is the byte number that the receiver expects to receive next. Okay. That means what is the next to send, or what is the next to receive by the receiver. Okay. It is an acknowledgement number for the previous bytes being received successfully. So header length, this is 4-bit field, indicates the number of 4-byte words in the TCP header. Next is your control flag. This control flag contains 1-bit control bits that control connection establishment, connection termination, and connection abortion, and flow control, mode of transfer, etc. So this contains the following fields. That is URG, that is your urgent pointer, is valid. ACK is your acknowledgement number, it is also valid. And this is PSH, request for push the data. And reset means that when the connection is disconnected, then we are using the RST button for reset the connection. And the synchronization SYN function contains the synchronize the sequence numbers, and the fin contains the terminate the connection. Okay. Next is your window size. This field tells the window size of the sending TCP in bytes. Next one is checksum. It is 16-bit field, contains the checksum. The calculation of the checksum for TCP follows the same procedure as the one described for UDP. Okay. We are going to discuss about UDP in our coming classes. Okay. So, however, the inclusion of the checksum in the UDP datagram is optional, whereas the inclusion of the checksum for TCP is mandatory. So, the same pseudo header serving the same purpose is added to the segment. Next is your urgent pointer. Urgent pointer. This 16-bit field, which is valid only if the urgent flag is set, is used when the segment contains urgent data. It defines the number that must be added to the sequence number to obtain the number of the last urgent byte in the data section of the segment. Okay, next is your option. There can be up to 40 bytes of optional information on the TCP header. Okay. So this is all about your TCP segment. This is the theoretical subject about the TCP segment. Okay. So this is the structure of TCP segment, which contains the different parts of TCP segment. Generally, the packets that are transferred from one location to another location, in case of TCP, they are called as segments. Okay. So each and every segment contains these options. Okay. Header and data, source port address, destination port address, sequence number, acknowledgement number, header length, and the reserved 6 bits, that is your urgent, acknowledgement, push, reset, synchronization, and final. And next is your window size, checksum, and urgent pointer. So this is all about the TCP segments. Thank you.